Okay, this applied problem with distance, rate, time is a good example of how to organize your information and then set up an equation to solve. And there are more than one way to solve these equations. I'm just showing you one way to solve. So dealing with the distance, rate, time problem is the formula. We kind of use the shortcut DIRT sometimes to remember it. Distance equals rate times time, or DIRT. And you use this all the time. Let's say you're going a certain speed, 60 miles an hour, and you're going to travel for how long? 5 hours. You can figure out how far you'll be able to travel. Or MapQuest does this. If you're trying to go from point A to point B, it'll average your speed and tell you how long it'll take. Okay, so we're actually going to use this though ourselves. So we're going to set up this equation. First, let's read this. It says, you left school and traveled toward your vacation spot in Colorado at an average speed of 33 kilometers per hour. Your friend had to leave 2 hours later and was going in the same route or same direction, but with an average speed of 55 kilometers per hour. How long did you travel before your friend caught up? So you want to know how long is it going to take before your friend catches up to you. So I set up a table. This just helps me whenever I'm solving any type of word problem. I try and draw a picture or set up a table so I have all that information in one spot. And I wrote out the formula distance equals rate times time, and I have it written backwards. It doesn't matter which way you write it. You could do distance equals rate times time if you want it as well. So let's start first with rate. I actually know my rate. In this case, I went 33 kilometers per hour, and I'm going to leave units off right now. And your friend went 55 kilometers per hour. Okay, now I don't know my exact time, so how long I traveled for till we met. That's actually what I'm trying to find. But I do know something about time, and that's that my friend left 2 hours later. So that means if my time was t, so let's say, for example, my time was 5 hours, my friend would be 2 hours less than that because they left 2 hours later than me, so their time would be 3. So if my time's t, their time would be 2 hours less than that, t minus 2. So whatever that is, because they're going faster, they're going to take less time to travel. Then it says equals distance. So remember, distance is just rate times time. So I'm just going to write this. So this distance is 33 times t, and this distance is 55 times, don't forget the parentheses, that's really important, the time of t minus 2, because I'm multiplying 55 times this whole thing. So I just like to write these two equations down below. So this is my distance and this is my friend's distance. So just to show that, I'm going to say d and then a u for you or me, and it is 33t. And then the distance for my friend, we just said, is 55 times t minus 2. So all I've done is set up all the information that I was given in that problem. I now want to solve for time because it says how long did you travel? That means I'm looking for time. So here's where you kind of have to visualize if we both start from the same point, but I'm traveling slower and my friend's traveling faster, I'm asking when we meet up to each other. So I want to know when we both reach the same spot. So what can you tell about the distances when you both reach the same spot? They're the same. So my distance and my friend's distance are the same. So that means I can set this distance equal to this distance because I want to know when are they the equal distance. When are we caught up to each other? So that means 33t equals 55 times t minus 2. Okay, so in order to solve, I need to simplify this equation. So first thing, this is 55 times t minus 2. I needed to distribute the 55 through the parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. And I get 33t equals 55t minus 110. Okay. Now we want to combine like terms. There's nothing on the same side of the equal sign, so I need to move this 55t over to the other side because I want to get this, get my t's together and leave this number by itself. So I'm going to subtract 55t from both sides. And 33 minus 55 is negative 22t equals, these cancel, and be careful, this is a negative 110. Remember, you always take the sign in front. Okay, the last thing I want to do here is get t by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 22. And when you do that, you get t, I'm going to come over here, t equals 5. And you should have a positive answer because we're talking about time here. We never say I'm negative 5 miles away from you or negative 5 hours. So this should be a positive 5. And I always say make sure your answer makes sense. So if you got, let's say, 1/3 or a negative 0.2 or 500 hours and you're not going that far, you just want to make sure that your answer makes sense. If you write something down and it doesn't make sense, you write down it doesn't make sense, and maybe it's just a small error, but that shows you're really thinking about the problem and that something might have gone wrong and you just can't figure out what it is. But in this case, we get 5, and so how long did you travel is your time is t, and then don't forget your units. So you traveled for 5 hours before your friend caught up to you.